In 34, love it. That's what we do right here on TRAXXfm as we give the maximum exposure. We find out what is happening with our Malaysian talents. And I'm talking about talents not only in the music industry, but also in the creative and arts. And today in the studios, we have our guests. A very, very good afternoon to our guest in the studio, Ariana. Hi, Ariana.
Hi Gilbert.
All right. Ariana is always bubbly, and well, she is bubbly, but well, we had a little chat just now in the producer's room, and well, I think Ariana, this is your first time here on radio, right?
Yes, this is my first time on live radio. I'm very nervous.
Don't worry, Ariana. It's always very complying. We're always complying, and well, honestly speaking, when you talk about nervous, me being on radio, also sometimes I do have those chills, especially when I'm having a guest in front of me.
Cold feet.
Yes, definitely. So, okay, let me get into our topic today. It's a very interesting topic. It's crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. Now, it is actually a French word, so I'm going to be trying to be a little bit about, or we will get into the details about what crochet is all about. But before that, Ariana, in 34, love it. Simultaneously with 34 stations across Malaysia, and while we do it together. So it happens on every Friday, Saturdays and Sundays from 3:40 till 4:15, and crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. And Ariana, in today, well, we would like to know a little bit about yourself first.
Right.
So can you just tell us about yourself?
My name is Ariana Natasha. I am 22 years old. I'm still a student, a full-time student. Currently taking my bachelor's in chemistry, just in just near here. And in my free time, I crochet. As a hobby, I learned it from my grandma, so that's where I get it.
So it's like a traditional thing that has been passed down or something like that?
I always knew that my grandmother crochets. I always see her crochet, but I never had the chance and maybe the interest to actually hold the hook and the yarns until just 2 years ago, during the pandemic.
Oh,
yes.
So
after the pandemic, yeah.
That means during the pandemic, you learned about it.
During the pandemic, I was doing a lot of arts, embroidery. I was doing cross stitch. I was doing everything I can to fill up my time at home. So my grandmother sparks creativity and arts in me. So that's where I tried everything. But usually the things that I tried, like embroidery or cross stitch, they just stick with me for like a month or two, and then I drop it. I just get bored. But with crochet, I hold the hook. I made something. I learned it in just one day, and after that, I've never stopped.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ariana. Now, when you compare crochet and knitting, so we were talking about this off air just now, right? And I think knitting is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I've tried knitting. I say that I'm a beginner in knitting. I've tried knitting maybe a patch.
Right.
And I feel like knitting maybe is a bit
challenging.
Fiddly. Yes,
fiddly.
It's a bit challenging because you have to use both of your hands.
Right.
You don't have one hand. With crochet, you have one hand holding your hook, one hand holding your yarn. But with knitting, you have to manage everything. Both hands are holding your needles, and both hands are holding your yarn. So I think it's a bit fiddly for me, coming from someone who starts crochet and then gets into knitting.
Oh yeah, okay. So just for our listeners' sake, just a little explanation on the difference between knitting and crochet. But we're going to focus on crochet today. And well, as Ariana did explain very briefly what crochet is. Now, we're getting into our topics today in, well, art and the joy of crocheting. Now, what got you interested in learning and how to actually crochet? How do you actually do it? Okay.
Well, how do I actually do it?
Okay. Probably we can just explain to us.
So crochet is a fiber art.
Okay.
So you have to have a hook like this.
Okay.
This is a pretty basic hook. I have this one which has a rubber handle, so it's much more comfortable. It's ergonomic in my hand. So you have to have a hook and some yarn.
Okay.
There's a lot of types of yarns, a lot of sizes, a lot of types of different fibers, natural fibers, synthetic fibers. So to each their own. Which one do you like? So you have to have yarn, a hook, maybe scissors, and then you can just start crocheting. With crochet, You can start just by a simple knot,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can crochet literally anything you want. Decorative items, functional items. I like to crochet clothes.
Right.
Yes.
What's your favorite crochet stitch or pattern?
There's a lot of stitches. Since we have compared to knitting, knitting has only 2 stitches, knit
Okay.
and purl.
Uh-huh.
But in crochet, there are a lot of stitches. There are stitches that are small, there are stitches that are big, that you can make patterns like this. This is a shell stitch. It looks like a shell. So my favorite crochet stitch is the most basic stitch. It's called a double crochet. It's really simple. It's a tall crochet. It looks like this.
A double
So,
crochet.
yes,
That's
it's
the
called a
word,
double
eh?
crochet. It's very simple,
Okay.
and it's the most practical to work with.
All right. All right. By the way, we have our producer in the studio together with us, Zam. Zam, we are live also, right, on Facebook. We are, right? And also on YouTube. Aha, so there you go. So if you'd like to catch us live, we are on social media platforms, Facebook, we are on TikTok, we are on YouTube, and probably you can have a look at some of the designs that Ariana has already done, and her favorite, what I should say, crochet stitch or pattern would be the double stitch. Is that what you call it?
Double crochet
A
stitch.
double crochet
yes.
stitch, eh? Okay, so there you go. Now, how long have you been exactly crocheting? This is since the pandemic, as you said.
A bit
But-
more than 2 years.
Overall, 2 years.
Yeah, just around 2 years.
Okay, now, where do you usually get your crochet supplies?
In the beginning, I got my first ball of yarn and hook just at a craft store at home.
Okay.
I live in Teluk Intan.
Right?
So I just got something pretty basic, pretty cheap at home. And then I started to explore Shopee, online platforms. And then when I'm here in KL, I always go to Spotlight. I really like going to Spotlight. It's a craft store. It's not a craft store. It's a really big store which has everything, but it has a big section for yarns and arts and crafts. So I really like to go to Spotlight.
Right.
Yes.
So this is where all the materials and gadgets that you need to have,
Yeah,
right?
I can get
What
them.
exactly do you call the hook again?
You just call it a crochet
just
hook.
A crochet hook.
Yeah, a crochet hook.
Okay, and it comes in different sizes, I believe.
Yeah, I have a lot of sizes here. This is my I call it maybe my travel kit. I can bring it anywhere, everywhere.
All right.
So like I have smaller hooks like this, so you can see the difference. Usually at hooks, there's the size written here at the
Right.
handle.
Okay.
Like this is a 4mm one. There's a 3.5 millimeter. So you have a lot of sizes. Some people like to crochet with bigger hooks, like up to 10 millimeters.
Wow.
Some people crochet, like my grandmother, she crochets with a much finer yarn, so she uses 0.5 hooks,
Oh,
much
okay.
smaller.
All right. Once again, we are live on our social media platform, so you can have a look at all those materials that Ariana has for us in the studio. And while she did explain to us when she started, her favorite crochet stitch or pattern. And have you ever made anything particularly challenging, Ariana?
Challenging.
Probably we should be Zam. Probably you should be asking Ariana to do something for us on in 34 Love It. I don't know. It's
I
just
can make
something
a
on top of my head.
decoration, yes.
How long would it take you to do something like that?
For example, this hat, this is a simple small hat like this.
Okay.
I can just take 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, make a simple hat. But if I'm crocheting something like a bag or clothes, maybe I would take up to a week if I spend my time every day crocheting. But if I crochet, usually when I crochet as a student during my academic week, my semester,
Semester breaks.
things that take during my break that would take like 3 hours. During my class, it would take, if I have class, it would take 3 days.
All right,
I would
yes.
stretch. Yeah.
Studies at most. By the way, Ariana is from University Malaya, right? And you're doing bioscience,
Chemistry.
biochemistry.
Chemistry, just
Chemistry.
yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Something to keep you occupied when you're not
Yes.
studying, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
so much to accept in the head, and then this is something that you
it's
just
therapeutic for me, crocheting. Yeah.
there you go. And well, as Ariana did explain about, particularly what has been challenging for her when it comes to crocheting is, it can even go to that one there was very interesting, especially the one with shells, right? You call it the
Yeah, this is a vest I made. I wear it once. Oh, sorry.
ah.
Yeah, this is a
There you
vest.
go.
Yeah.
So if you manage to catch us live on our social media platform, it's TRAXXfm, and this is some of the samples of the masterpiece from Ariana itself. On our topic today in 34, love it, crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. Now, Ariana, have you ever tried crocheting a blanket? Now it looks complicated, but cozy sometimes, isn't it? When you have a chance to get your hands to do something like that. Now, what do you say to this? Have you tried doing it?
I've never tried crocheting blanket. I have always wanted to crochet a blanket, but I've never started crocheting one since a blanket is really big. It would take me a lot of supplies and
Okay.
it would take a lot of my time.
Okay.
Since I'm always going back and forth between Teluk Intan, Perak and KL, I don't want to bring a big project with me all the time because I
Okay.
like to bring my ongoing projects with me. And blankets are big, but they're actually not challenging since you can use one simple stitch, like I said, a double crochet stitch, a
Right.
pretty simple and practical stitch.
Okay.
And you can create a big blanket, but it would take you so much time. So I've never tried it yet, but I've always wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that probably could be something challenging and something that you will aim for. Okay, I'm going to go for this, which is
Yes.
the hardest of all. Just one final question, and then we're going to take a short song break and then get into our 4 o'clock news from the Radio News Center. And then when we come back, don't go anywhere because we will still be talking to Ariana, our guest in the studios in 34. Love it. And today's topic, which is crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. Now, Ariana did explain the difference between knitting and crocheting and her challenges when she is at work with her masterpiece. Yes. And one last question here, Ariana, just before we take a break. Do you prefer crocheting for practical items or decorative pieces?
So
What
as
would it
you
be?
can see here, I have some decorative pieces.
Okay. Oh, that
And
one is
I
nice.
have practical pieces, so wearables and even a bag. So comparing these two, I really like crocheting functional pieces. I like things that I can use, that I can wear, that I can show to people. Decorative, I like, but maybe I don't want to take up the space because I won't use it. Yeah.
Okay, going in for a break. We'll be back right after the 4 o'clock news. So do stay tuned right here on TRAXXfm. Just one song, getting into the newsroom, and then coming back and talking to Ariana, crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. In 34, love it. This is Gilbert in the studios together with my producer, Zam. Stay tuned.
Salam Malaysia Madani, Kevin Francis with the news at 4. The public will have the opportunity to see the royal regalia, which will be carried ceremoniously by Panglima Hulu Balang dan Dang Pewara, the warriors, aides-de-camp and ladies-in-waiting during the installation ceremony of His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim as the 17th King of Malaysia at Istana Negara on July 20th. In Sultan Ibrahim's Facebook post, the sword, the long keris and sunang, the type of keris, are three traditional Malay weapons which form part of the royal regalia, as well as the yellow umbrellas and tombak berambu, fringe-coloured collared spears. The Ministry of Health will take legal action against unlicensed medical practitioners believed to be foreign nationals operating uncertified aesthetic medical service centres in the country. Its Deputy Minister, Datuk Lukanisman Awang Sauni, said that foreigners cannot run private clinics in the country without being licensed by the Private Medical Practice Control Section. Malaysia's natural rubber production rose 20.1% month-on-month to 25,608 tonnes in May 2024 from 21,325 tonnes in April 2024. The Department of Statistics Malaysia said that market sentiment was boosted by firmer advice in regional rubber futures markets amid concerns over tight global raw material supply in major producing countries due to heavy rains. In world news, at least 3 civilians were killed early this morning following an Israeli airstrike on a residential building in the Gaza Strip. Local sources reported that among the deceased was an infant after Israeli aircraft targeted a home in the northern area of the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza. Eyewitness footage captured today showed severe flooding in a residential neighborhood after heavy rains hit western Japan. Authorities in Matsuyama, the capital of Ehime Prefecture, said a landslide buried a residence and that 3 people were missing. Multiple gas leaks have also been reported in the area and officials were said to be investigating the leaks. And finally in sports, France's famous river, the Seine, has been clean enough to swim for most of the past 12 days, just weeks ahead of the Olympic Games. Weather permitting, the river will be the star of the opening ceremony of the Games on July 26th and will then host the triathlon and the swimming marathon. The Paris region has seen an unseasonably amount of rain over the recent weeks, which has raised the Seine's pollution levels as untreated sewage is washed into the river. City Hall official Pierre Rabadon hoped that the weather will slightly improve, but he remained assured that the competitions will take place. And that was the news, edited by Mas Elizawati. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Thank you so much, Kevin Francis. Buddy, how have you been doing?
I'm good, man.
All right. Now, well, Double D is not here. Well, poor thing, he's feeling not feeling too well. Just the weather conditions. Yes, it's got to everybody. And well, this is my first show sitting in for him here, and we have a guest in the studios now. I believe that you always like to chow those guests, lah. So, okay, Ariana happens to be on our show in 34. Love it. And today's topic is crafting connections, the art and joy of crochet. Okay, I'm not so good with my French. But, it's a French word. I know you're very good with Italian. Italian language. We have our guests all the time talking to Pablo. But anyway, crochet, it's something like knitting. Okay? Something similar to knitting, but it's a bit more simpler because knitting is a bit more complicated. It's a bit tougher lah. Yeah, I mean, I have no right to say that. It's complicating, but I haven't done that before. Probably I'll be doing it.
You should try it.
Kevin, do you have any questions for Ariana, Kevin?
Not really. I'm really impressed with what she's done, but also just want to say that younger people are actually now taking up crocheting. I wonder why. Does she know why?
Can you answer that?
Maybe it just started as a trend. Maybe people started crocheting and people maybe saw that it is easy to take on. So started as something crafty people do, and then other people just pick it up as a hobby.
Yeah, that's
Right.
great.
Kevin, off air when you were giving the reading the news, delivering the news, I was talking to Ariana, and Ariana has this. Well, there is a community around the world Kevin, beat that. And well, she has a friend in Philippines who has done something amazing, right, Ariana? And do you want to explain a little bit about that so that Kevin could at least probably teach his wife and something like that during pastime?
Sure. So since I created my Instagram account my crochet account on Instagram,
Alright.
I've learned that there's a crochet community, an international one. So I've got friends from all over the world, from Pakistan, from Indonesia, and from Philippines. So there's this practice in the community where a crochet creates their own design, their own pattern, and to make sure that their pattern works for maybe when they make a pattern for a clothing, they want to make sure that the clothing would fit people from all sizes, from S to up to XL, for instance. So to make sure that the pattern works, they call out for other crocheters, their friends, other crocheters, they just promote, they send a message out. If any crochet that has a free time who wants to dedicate their time to test their pattern for them to make sure that it works for their size. So they will look for people from all sizes. So me myself, I'm quite small. I'm making a top. It's called an Amelia top. This is a pattern from a crochet from the Philippines. This is it's going to be a top. It's not a cardigan, it's going to be a top. And this is a pattern that she makes. So she asked us to try crochet it from her. So when it's completed, we take pictures, we take videos, we send it to her, and we give feedback whether the pattern is easy to follow, whether it works for us, is there any errors. So I think that's very helpful, having a community that will help you grow.
Wow, Kevin, amazing, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, I never knew of this community, but I think it's really, really important and so great to have a community of all around the world, right, to exchange ideas.
That's how networking happens, and making friends from different countries, sharing the same sharing the same passion that they have.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing, Kevin. Thank you so much, buddy. I'm not going to keep you on too long.
All right.
You have the 5 o'clock news that you're coming around again?
Yep.
Okay, Prime at 5, that is. Thank you so much, Kevin, for being with us.
Alrighty, nice to meet you, Ariana.
Okay, nice to meet you too, Kevin.
Okay, Kevin is always bubbly and amazing chap from the newsroom. Thank you so much. Kevin will be back for Prime at 5. Do stay tuned for that. Okay, getting into our topic together with Ariana. Thank you so much for being here in the studios. Producer Zam, thank you so much. We are live on social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and also on our Facebook, that's TRAXXfm. Now, Ariana did explain to us how did she get into crocheting and the various types of tools that are used, and some of the designs that she has already made, and it won't be displayed right here. The cameras are picking it up. Oh, that's so nice. And if you happen to be joining us on TRAXXfm, remember on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with our topic, different topics focusing on music, craft, and art, and everything about our Malaysian talents. Thank you so much, Ariana, for being here in the studios. Ariana, getting back to more questions here, Ariana. Now, do you follow patterns or enjoy creating your own design?
I feel like as a creator, I like following patterns more than creating my own designs, because I think even though I'm good with my hands, I'm not really that creative, and I don't really have ideas to create my own original pattern. I've tried once. This is my first thing that I crochet freehand without following a pattern, and as you can see, I haven't finished it yet because I can't figure out where to put the handle, how to work it out, how to finish. It's really hard actually creating your own pattern. This is my first time trying it. So I think it's quite good for me.
I like the color combination there, and how the gradient. Amazing.
This actually comes from the yarn itself. The yarn is like color changing. So
okay. But getting the right color, the right tone, and the right area, that can be challenging. So moving on to our next question, and while getting back again to this particular question number 8, right, Ariana, when you said that following patterns and enjoy creating your own. So your friend in Philippines created her own pattern.
Yes, he has a lot of patterns. A lot of crocheters make their income not only from selling their products, but they also sell their patterns. So they're selling their creative ideas. Yeah.
Okay, so that can be also not just something that you do on your hobby, but it's also a potential income.
Yes,
Nice. And okay, now the next one, your next question here is: what's the most memorable gift you've made to crochet?
My most memorable gift, I think it would be a bouquet of crocheted flowers from my mother. I don't have it now. Obviously, it's
Wow.
for my mother. It's very hard to make. The flowers itself are not hard to make. I can make anything crochet, but suddenly making flowers and making a bouquet, it's a bit hard, but it's very memorable since it's the first time something new.
That's priceless, Ariana. Seriously, it's priceless, and something that you just don't go to the shop and just pick it up. But
You can't find it.
Yeah, it's unique, and having flowers. Well, I don't get flowers, lah. Okay, but something like this, it's forever,
Yes.
right?
It won't die. You can put it
Anywhere.
Just make sure it doesn't catch dust. Since yes, yarn.
Can you wash them out of the milk or something? Yeah, you
You can
can.
wash them. That's the way. You can just some yarn. The labels say you can wash it using the washing machine. Some yarns are better washed hand washed. So
Right.
you can hand wash it, but be very
Careful about it, yes. Otherwise, the designs just goes
Yeah.
off. Thank you so much, Ariana. Now, Ariana, have you ever thought of someone else or someone else on how to crochet? Have you ever thought of this?
I've never taught a person from scratch
Okay.
on how to crochet, but I have a friend once. He tried to crochet. He learned the basics from YouTube. He's very interested. He saw me crocheting, and I think he's very interested in fashion and arts himself. He crochets, and then he comes to me to help him get better and just how to hold yarn, how to get better at stitches, once you need a pouch, how to assemble. I try to teach after he gets the basic. I've never taught someone
From the
from
scratch,
scratch. No,
yeah.
I never taught someone from scratch.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about crochet? Does it take off your stress or anything like that?
Yes.
Forget that you have something that's piling up, or probably work that's piling up, and suddenly just get away from this and get into this. Have you ever come across this situation?
Yes, for me, crochet is very therapeutic. I love crocheting. Once I start crochet, I can't stop. Even though my hands hurt, I can't stop. I just can't. I love crocheting. It's my favorite thing. But I think the most favorite thing that for me about crocheting is, and I think maybe it's a perk. Sometimes I call it a curse when crocheting. When you like crochet, you like to crochet for other people. So because for me lah, personally, I like giving things to other people as gifts.
Nice.
Yeah, so when you crochet a lot of things for other people, actually you won't have a lot of time to crochet things for yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I call it a curse. So because even though I have these to show to you, there's a lot more interesting things, more beautiful, more complicated things that I've crocheted, but I don't have it with me because I made it for other people.
There
and
you
then
go.
I end up don't have the time to recreate it for myself.
It tells so much about your personality.
Oh,
You're a type of person that likes to give.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I really enjoy seeing people having something that I poured my heart, my time into it. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm feeling it right now.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
that's very rare in people, giving back to people.
That's why I wanted to like crochet something for tracks, but I don't have the time.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. We're going to keep Ariana in the studios here until probably we have something so that we can always remember you.
Of course. Thank
Okay,
you.
Ariana here in the studios, and today's topic in 34, love it, 34 stations, we do it simultaneously, and of course we talk about our artists, we talk about our musicians, and besides all that, people who are crafty and of course talents in Malaysia. And you got to be tuning into the show 3:40 right up to 4:15, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. Don't miss it, because this is something that you don't actually know that it's out there, but we have those talents, and we are always so nice to have them on our platform, in our radio station, and talking about themselves. Thank you so much, Ariana, for being here with us. One last question, Ariana. Do you have any tips for our beginners who want to start, and probably just where they can find you on social media platforms and things like that?
Well, tips, I would say, first of all, just go for it. If you feel interested, just don't be scared. Just take a hook. Just find anything simple. You don't have to buy pricey, high quality yarn to start. You can just buy anything from the craft store. A simple hook. Make sure the hook size is big so you can handle the yarn and the hook better. Don't buy smaller sizes of hooks and yarns, so
Okay.
it wouldn't complicate you. You wouldn't be too overwhelmed.
All
And
right.
I think any tips for beginners is just
Go
don't
for
be
it.
scared. Go for it. Crochet something simple, but actually crochet something simple. When for beginners, they thought that crocheting small things like this would be the easiest,
Right.
but actually no. Small
Because
things
it's
like
got a
this,
design
yes,
and yeah.
it's actually harder because it's small, it's hard to hold,
Right.
it's hard to handle. So for a beginner, I would recommend crocheting something like a hat, something big that you can hold, a hat, just maybe a patch of crochet, just
All
crochet
right.
something.
There you go. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And this is our show brought to you proudly right here on TRAXXfm in 34. Love it. Together with our guests in the studios, Ariana, Crafting Connections, the art and joy of crochet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ariana. It's fantastic and nice to have you here. So pleasant to have someone who's always giving to society, I should
Thank
say.
you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. My producer. Oh, we have Achu also together in the studios here with us. And Zam, thank you so much, Zam. Live on Facebook page, and not forgetting on Instagram and also on TikTok. That's TRAXXfm. So this is where you can find all our creative talents in the studio with us on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. 34 stations simultaneously. Thank you so much, Ariana.
Yes.
And it's back to more music from us right here on TRAXXfm. 4:30, we'll be checking in with our weather friends, the weather forecast in Malaysia from Met Malaysia. Do stay tuned for that. More music up your way. It's Gilbert here on the show. Chill at Tracks. Especially for you, Ariana. This one's yours.